If you found this video, then you did great, because today we're going to talk about kegging and carbonating our homebrew. We're going to talk about what to buy, how to save money, the do's and do nots, how to speed up the process, and much, much more. I'll be brewing with my friend Chris today, who's the head brewer and owner of Battle Mage in San Diego, and we're going to provide a detailed tutorial to get you away from bottling and how to have your own draft system here at home. Every item in this video will have a link in the description. Now let's get into it. Cheers. Alright, this video could save your life. I'm serious. Now, real quick, we're going to watch some parts in this video that might not relate to how you're going to keep your beer cold. We're going to talk more in regards to the relationship between your keg, your CO2 tank, and your CO2 and beer lines. Once you understand this, you can do it however which way you want it to store your beer at a cold temp. Okay, so what do we need? We need a 5-gallon ball lock corny keg. This is definitely something I would buy used off Craigslist, but if you're buying used, just make sure it has the lid and the gasket. Also check out the pressure release valve, or PRV. Make sure it's got enough tension when you're pulling on it. It should pull back. You lift it up and it goes back down. The PRV keeps this corny keg from becoming a grenade. Nah, I'm just kind of playing. At beer pressures, a keg cannot explode. It's designed to take much more pressure, rated to around 120 to 130 PSI, and I never have my beers over 12 PSI. It's just a safety valve. And honestly, I've never heard of a homebrew keg exploding. Alrighty, next, CO2 tank. I'd recommend getting a 10 pound to 20 pound tank. Smaller stuff will work, but the bigger tank means less trips to the store to buy some gas. And this is something you definitely want to buy used as well. Next, you want a regulator. Regulators! This will always be connected to your CO2 tank at all times. Never ever use a CO2 tank without a regulator. It is extremely dangerous. This device controls how much gas comes out of your tank. Snag one with 2 gauges. This gauge lets you know how much gas is in the tank, and the other gauge lets you know in PSI how much CO2 is going into your beer. When your PSI is too high, the beer will be all foam. When your PSI is too low, your beer will be flat. We'll talk about this more in a second. Your regulator also will have a PRV valve as well too, because we now have gas in our regulator. And right here we have a master valve, which is pretty much an on and off switch for the regulator. Perpendicular is closed and straight down is on. I've bought regulators both new and used. It's your call. Live your life. CO2 hose, buy 6 feet to play it safe. And buy this stuff new. I'll have an Amazon link in the description. This is food grade tubing that's extremely flexible. Doesn't crack. It's always great to have hose clamps floating around too. Maybe you can connect stuff and it's just so snug it doesn't need one of these, but I like to have some peace of mind that none of my stuff is leaking. I'll include another Amazon link for this stuff. Alright, what else do we need? Ball lock connectors. Buy the ones that I have in the link in the description. Both of these go on your corny keg. Gas in and beer out. Now we need a beer faucet. I'll have a couple of links for this. You can connect straight to the keg with a beer out connector, or if you're making a kegerator or a keezer, you're going to want one of these that's got the barb at the end or a nipple, and then this connects to your beer line. If you're going to make a kegerator or a keezer right now, snag some beer line. Again, I will have a link in the description for this as well. All the links that I'm putting in the descriptions are the perfect measurements, which is good to know because they make this tubing in different sizes. One of the perks of being a home brewer versus having a restaurant or a dive bar or something is just this. I can replace these beer lines 3 to 4 times a year, and it's super easy. Restaurants can't replace their beer lines that often. Some restaurants have beer lines that are 50 feet long, running through the ceiling or maybe the floor or something, and they have to clean it with caustic, which is very serious food grade acid. Assuming that restaurants are even cleaning their beer lines regularly, I've been to dive bars and ordered craft and commercial beers, and it clearly tasted different. And it's pretty safe to blame it's their disgusting beer lines that never get cleaned or changed. But with home brewing, I only need 6 feet of hosing, so it's not even worth to clean it with caustic. I just replace it every season. Alright, so your beer is done fermenting. First things first, make sure your keg is clean with hot water and PBW or OxyClean. And get your Star Sand mixture ready. 1 ounce Star Sand every 5 gallons of room temperature water. Throw your keg lid, throw on the lid, shake it around for about 30 seconds, dump the sanitizer out. Alright, showtime. Grab a crescent wrench and securely fasten your regulator to your CO2 tank. Now connect your red CO2 hose to your regulator. Make sure you got a hose clamp on it. Now collect the other end of your hose to your gray connector, light is for gas, dark is for beer, and I'd make sure you got a hose clamp on that as well. and connect it to the corny keg, to the side that doesn't have the stem connected to it. See, gas comes in from the top, and the beer side, the stem side, comes in from the bottom. Snap on the gas and put the lid on the corny keg so it's airtight. Right now we're gonna purge the oxygen out because oxygen is the enemy and CO2 weighs more than oxygen and it's gonna sit on the bottom. Let's get as much oxygen out of the keg as we can before we rack our beer into the keg.
Pay attention.
You're gonna hear the word purging or purge a lot right now. What does it mean? What does it do? It means to get rid of stuff, just like the movie. In the movie, they wanted to get rid of their bosses and neighbors and the people that they hated, but we don't want to kill our bosses. We just want to get rid of the oxygen that's been in my keg since I cleaned it. How do we purge? All you have to do is lift up the PRV valve, pressure release valve. Okay, so turn the main valve of the CO2 tank on and open the valve on the regulator as well. And right now I'm going to adjust my pressure to 12 PSI. Some of these you can just turn, but I have to use a flathead screwdriver for mine. I'm going to loosen this safety nut and turn my manifold to the right until I get to 12 PSI. Right means more gas and left means less gas. I'm going to go ahead and fasten my nut. I'm going to run gas into my keg for about 20 seconds and then I'm going to purge the lid. I usually do this twice before I rack. Now turn off the gas, purge your lid, and remove the lid. It will look really smoky in your keg. That's good. Now rack your beer from your fermenter into your keg, but make sure you have enough vinyl tubing so that there's no splashing going on. Splashing will create oxygen. Once your beer is all in your keg, let's purge it a couple more times. Turn on the gas, and from here on out, our gas stays on until the beer is all gone. Wait 30 seconds, purge the lid, let it fill up again with gas, and purge the lid again to remove the oxygen that came in while we were racking. So now it's up to you how you want to connect your beer out connector and faucet. If you're not ready to drill some holes for a kegerator, just connect it to the keg for the time being. And now's the hardest part, waiting 3 or 4 days. See, the CO2 has to infuse into the beer. It doesn't just happen instantly. But boy, I wish it did. You got 3 or 4 days to kill. In the meantime, check out some more Homebrew for Life videos. Go out to dinner with some of your friends. Appreciate this new $755 Sony Zeiss lens that I bought that I'm not too sure whether I'm going to keep or return. Kind of got buyer's remorse. If you guys would like to watch a video on how to force carbonate in 30 minutes, I'll leave a link in the description as well.